the flower of death. That is what the soldiers of the 141st Mechanized Brigade call their self-propelled artillery unit, the Gvozdika. The gun crews destroy the enemy on the approaches, striking enemy columns of equipment and Russian assault groups. The unit includes both newcomers and soldiers who had previously deserted their posts. Our Daria Nazarova spent time on combat duty with the artillerymen in the Zaporizhzhia direction, and now she will tell you all about it.
We're heading to the position to join the self-propelled artillery crew. Call sign, Vislik.
Right now, the guys need to keep a close eye on the sky because enemy FPV drones could appear in this area.
The closer you get to the front line, the more deserted the villages become. There are wrecked cars on the road. Just a few weeks ago, villagers could travel this way freely. Now enemy FPV drones reach this area.
Sorry, only those cars that are completely burned out. There are still many more that are damaged, abandoned, and so on. Constantly.
A brief stop. Right now it's dangerous to drive up to the position.
At the moment, we need to wait a bit. It's not safe to be near the position right now. We don't need to risk things for the sake of time. So for now, we'll wait. It's better to keep our distance from our positions.
Less than 10 kilometers from the occupiers, the Gvozdika self-propelled gun is in action. The gun has come under enemy fire more than once.
You can see that our gun is marked with battle scars. You can see that we try to protect and cover everything as best we can. You can see how the helmet was damaged by shrapnel brought in by the blasts.
In the unit led by the young commander Cowboy, both recently mobilized soldiers and experienced fighters who transferred from other brigades are fighting.
They don't have a routine. Every day is different for them. Here they can find themselves and show what they're capable of, and that's really great. We're working, and overall the guys are doing an awesome job. Despite the fact that the unit is newly formed, it's performing very well. The unit is scaling and developing rapidly.
In another brigade, I worked as a mortar operator. I was forced to be a senior gunner and Kesha's spotter.
Not to run away, hide, or escape.
After joining Cowboy's formidable group, he quickly proved himself to be a truly skilled and capable fighter. Volodymyr was a builder in civilian life. Now he's responsible for the shells. He doesn't have a call sign yet and has only been fighting for 2 months. He says he volunteered for the war following the example of his brothers.
It was my younger brother. He immediately joined the artillery in the 24th Brigade. That's how I ended up here.
He recommended artillery to you. Judging by enemy intercepts, the guys say the occupiers really hate the self-propelled artillery units. And among our fighters, they call it the flower of death. It strikes enemy bunkers, destroys enemy manpower, and with just a few shots, it can even stop an enemy assault. We have a target. The brigade's aerial reconnaissance has detected a concentration of Russian assault troops.
On those same systems, the crew is ready to fire. The personnel were gathering at the farm. The second shell hit the target, and then 2 more control shots for good measure.
An equally difficult task is to leave the position. Enemy FPV drones are lying in wait on the roads.
They can easily spot you if you proceed in one direction and then, quite unexpectedly, decide to return. Very often they just land right on the roads. And they wait for vehicles.
Back at the command post, Cowboy says that at the intersection of Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia regions, the Russians are not giving up their attempts to break through the defensive line.
Right now, they're trying to regroup in order to continue their assault operations in the future.
The fighters are putting up a worthy resistance.
On coffee and enthusiasm. For coffee and patriotic food.
Daria Nazarova, Zaporizhzhia. TSN 1+1.
Special forces of the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine successfully struck an enemy Black Sea Fleet ship near Novorossiysk. And now this vessel has been put out of action for repairs. The intelligence service has released video footage of the attack on another valuable military target of the occupiers, reporting that it concerns a multi-purpose vessel project with a value of about $60 million. It was put into operation in 2015, and there are only 4 such vessels in Russia. It is known that the attacked vessel was used in particular for electronic intelligence and for patrolling the approaches to the bays where the occupiers' ships are based. As a result of the strike, the equipment was destroyed, Ukrainian intelligence added. The occupiers have launched almost 6,000 kamikaze drones at our positions on the front line. The enemy is trying to control the skies along the line of contact as much as possible in order to prevent our defense forces from counterattacking the Russians. The most difficult situation remains in the Pokrovsk direction. There, the highest number of attacks was recorded, 57 in a single day. The occupiers are trying to regain control over the recently recaptured villages of Volodymyrivka and Zoloty Kolodias and to break through to Rodinske and Udakhne. It is no less intense in the Novopavlivka direction. There, more than 30 attempts by the Russians to retake our positions and advance even closer to Dnipropetrovsk region have been recorded. The settlement of Siversk is appearing more and more frequently in the General Staff's reports. There, enemy attacks have intensified just as much as in the Lyman direction. The Russians are doing everything they can to push deeper into Donetsk region, but despite this, the defense forces are holding their positions firmly. They search for survivors under the rubble at the sites of strikes and recover the bodies of the dead on the front line. And during breaks between work, they compete. In the Dnipropetrovsk region, the best rescue dogs were chosen, those who will represent the country at the World Championship next year. Usually the skills of search dogs are the result of years of training on special grounds. But now the dogs are learning in real conditions, often at risk to their own lives. Anastasia Naverna will tell you more.
A dense pine forest where a woman went missing a few days ago. The phone signal indicated an approximate location, so the search needs to be conducted in this area. The initial sweep yielded no results, so they brought in the dogs.
We would like
you to effectively work this entire area with your trained dog to save valuable energy and precious time and to help the distressed person as quickly and safely as possible.
The young Belgian shepherd named Mara is eager to move forward. She receives a special command. And she rushes off to search. Mara needed just 40 seconds to find the person lost in the forest. She barks to signal that she has found her. And on top of that, the person found gets showered with kisses. Working in the dense forest is part of the national competition for rescue dogs and one of the stages of selection for the championship.
This tests both the dog, how well it can find a person, how skillfully it uses its nose, and how well the dog and handler work together as a team.
When it comes to searching for a real missing person, everything happens in much the same way, say the dog handlers. In fact, the dog Antares has already found more than a dozen people, and thus saved lives.
I even found a living person. We started searching for a body. Buffy found a living person whom we had just seen. After 2 days, they found a living person. And we also have Doberman Pana, who found a living person on this very day.
The competition is just a short break for these dogs. Now, their mission is difficult, responsible, and often risky. All of them are involved in searching for people under the rubble after Russian strikes. They find the bodies of fallen participants in combat zones. In March 2023, during the search for the bodies of the dead in the Kharkiv region, Larissa and her faithful partner Besha were blown up by a landmine. The dog handler spent several days in a coma. Then came long months of treatment. She admits that she was never able to fully recover. Some exercises are difficult for both of them. That's why they lost points.
I was told they wanted the turns to be more precise. For now, I am unable to fully execute the turn with my entire body and legs, and that is precisely why it does not work out as intended.
The obedience competition is designed to test how well dogs and their owners sense and understand each other. After that, the four-legged participants face the obstacle course. One of the best was a young dog named Haku. He scored 90 out of 100 points. Now he's happily jumping around, trying to grab the TSN microphone. Haku is from Odessa, and even now, often wearing down his paws, he works at the sites of missile strikes, trying to find people who are still alive.
It's tough for the young ones. At the very last strike, several floors collapsed, and it was quite dangerous work because it was hard for the dogs to operate at such heights. The dogs worked on leashes, and we were backed up for safety. We were at that rubble site for 17 hours.
These competitions will last for several days, and the best dogs will go on to represent Ukraine at the World Championship next year. The dog handlers hope that by then their charges will have more time to train, because hopefully there will no longer be any buildings destroyed by enemy attacks. Anastasia Neverna, Vladislav Commission, Dnipropetrovsk region for TSN 1+1.